What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be continuing with the series, The Best Man Finals Chapter. This is season 1, episode 2, and this is The Wedding. Before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, I do detailed reviews and recaps of reality shows and anything that may bring or spark my interest or your interest. So with this best man thing, it has a lot of history, and I watched it. I was blown away, so I had to do it. And as I tell you, me being YouTube's number one commenter, this channel is all about the comments. But we almost here at 2023, so I'm gonna change up something different. I do need those. I do need those likes. Need the comments more, but the likes to push it out there because I don't feel like the content is getting out enough to the people. Um, I gotta say, with this one, this review is like really easy because, like I said, this has blown me away. And if you don't have a Peacock subscription, it's worth getting it just for 30 days, just to see the best man. So if you've seen the first best man, you certainly won't be disappointed. It also has the best man holiday on there to if you need to catch up and get it. So let's just go ahead and get started with it. The episode starts out with Shelby crashing the party because that's how the first episode ended. And I was wondering, how did she get that information? Did Jordan tell her? Did she pick up on somebody's location who was already there, or somebody let something out? But anyway, she's there, and immediately her and Q get into it, and also the battle between Q's fiance Sia Moore begins. And Sia Moore just starts out by calling Shelby Shelly when she knows her name is Shelby, of course. And Shelby returns the favor by having sex with Q on the same night of her arrival. So, it's just going to be a mess because all we can say is Shelby doesn't have good intentions. She's there to disrupt that wedding. So it's the next day, and you can see all the couples, including the singles, they still having their different struggles going on. And we see Lance, he's waking up, he's envisioning his late wife Mia. And after he saw Mia, he actually saw the hotel's manager, Jasmine. But he was having both dreams. He wakes up to a random guest in his bed or whatever, because Lance is still trying to fill that void with all the sex, just because he's hurting about Mia, and he hasn't gotten over her yet. Not that you expect him to, but that's the way he's dealing with it. And we see Harper, he's dealing with the pressure of his talent manager, like telling him he has to take that the deal to adapt his book Unfinished Business into a movie because they're trying to pay him so much. But Harper is like kind of second guessing it because just like from the first original Best Man, it's going to cause problems. You're exposing people that you're very close to and telling them your deep thoughts of what you really think about them. You're just changing their name and they know who they are. So putting it on the movie screen can definitely hurt some relationships. So that's the only reason Harper's like kind of struggling with it. We even see Robin having her struggles as well. You can see she's really kind of connecting with Jamaica a little bit too much. When I say, like, you can tell she don't want to leave, like she's home. And I knew it was an issue when she's telling Harper, like, hey, I'm going. She went to, I guess, met a chef that's out on the beach, that's been out there, had a restaurant out there for over 20 years. And not only she visited her the previous day, she's going shopping with her that day. And I'm thinking how odd, because they're on vacation as a group. So I would think they would want to spend time as a group or individually as a couple, not stray off all the way on your own and be gone with somebody she doesn't even know. So I'm like, yeah, something's going on and something's wrong. She's feeling she's feeling different. So we see Merch, and he's been struggling because he's been promising to give Candace that one-on-one time attention because they have what, 3 girls, and it's either work or mommy and daddy time. So they looking for some alone time. And he hasn't been giving that to Candace because Merch has been he's been overwhelmed and trying to prove that he's a better best man than Harper, because Harper's not really doing a good job, because he's more so trying to convince Q that he shouldn't get married and not supporting him in the way he needs it. And even Candace had a conversation with Murch, and 2 minutes later, he took another best man job, even though he ain't the best man job, to find the adult entertainment for the bachelor party. And I'm like, Candace should just leave right then and there. But not really. Candace shouldn't leave. You know, if that's the case, when married people have disagreements or people don't stick to their word all the time, most people wouldn't be married. So she's hanging in there, but of course she's frustrated or whatever. And you know, it's really something. And I would say even Jordan is going through it. You know, she's kind of feeling like she kind of should she get with this new guy that's, keep randomly running up on her or whatever. And it's just everybody going through their own thing instead of focusing on the couples or being together. It's just like a big old mess. And so pretty much the guys, they've gone off and they doing their like a group massage, and they get an individual massage. And Q is complaining about Shelby so much, but the fact of the matter, he actually had sex with her a few hours ago. When she's showing up, when he's like saying he's hating her, he's done with her, she's crazy and all that. But that's not the truth, because if Q really wanted her gone, she would be gone. They're on their private resort and they're having a private event. I didn't really know their connection was that strong. Maybe I didn't follow up in the Best Man Holiday hard enough to know that, but I didn't know they were like that tight. They like, they have that toxic cycle going on. So, and I would say it's I thought Jordan would, as the character Jordan, Nia Long, she's done a great job. I'm still unimpressed with that connection she has with that guy, because they doing the cat and mouse thing back and forth. 1 minute he's interested, 1 minute she's not interested, but the guy just doesn't seem authentic, and I don't feel the connection. She acts like she's so attracted to this guy, but I just don't see it. I think they dropped the ball. I can't expect it to be perfect, but I got to pick out the little things that I don't like. So that's one of them. And so the group, they're getting together with Q and his fiance, and they're gonna do a ceremony where they're drinking some Iwasaki, some type of elixir, to kind of open their inner selves up. And everybody's there with the exception of Lance, and I can understand how Lance would want to be there, because that's pretty much going to reveal all the things he's going through with Mia. But Lance, he don't want no Iwasaki. He wants some Mama Wanna. That's that root that Harper's wife gave him to kind of get him ready for when Mama Wanna get some or whatever. So, because Lance is having an issue with getting it up, because he had been in probably 32 hours. And he had a sex with about 7 people. He should have some issues or whatever. But like I said, everybody, they taking the Iwasaki and they are going through it. I mean, they like hallucinating, confessing their deepest feelings, and it's actually funny, especially with Candace. She's really having them those visions and all that going on. But after everybody come down off the Iwasaki high, they kind of get vulnerable. They get vulnerable with somebody, whether it's a couple or individual. And Quentin actually saw Shelby on the beach, and they got to talking, and I really saw the depth of their relationship. Like Quentin, of course, Shelby's there to disrupt Quentin's wedding, just saying like he's not being himself and this is not him. He should be doing something else. And Quentin's like, Sia Moore gets him. She knows him. And Shelby's like, no, she doesn't. And he's like, how do you know? You don't know me, and you never offer anything to me but sex or whatever. And Shelby felt like she had to protect herself, so that was it. But you could see like she really wants to be with him. He cares for her, but he wants to go forward with his wedding. Lance didn't take the Iwasaki, but he's having a deep conversation with the hotel manager, Jasmine. He's more like leaning on her talking about like grieving about his wife, how it's not getting better. But you can see they're really kind of connecting over that, and somehow something is growing in between. We really don't know. And even Jordan and her new love interest, Will, and we learned his name was Willie Bobo because he's a shaman or whatever. Whatever he do, he gave everybody the Awasaki or whatever. So he's a jack of all trades, and she kind of opens up and like willing to have a Stella got her groove back moment with her, but Will kind of backed off of her and declined and say like we can meet in the States or whatever because I don't really think you ready for me because he coming with it and not just saying in a sexual manner like he needs a lot more from her that he believes that she can give. And even Candace and Murch are having a moment where Candace is explaining like she's so insecure about accepting the Educator of the Year award because she pretty much doesn't feel worthy, and Murch is reassuring her like a good husband should, like, well, you're amazing, the people love you, I think you're amazing, and I got Candace going or whatever. And guess what, here comes Shelby busting in, and how she overpowers Murch like she always has, but it's just a different setting because they're not together anymore. She pretty much tells Candace like, hey, I know you're a worn out mother, you need some me time, and I booked up all the couples massage and spa for us so you can have that time. And Murch is like, he want to put his foot down because he actually planned to have them go to the spa, but Shelby bought it all up, and Candace is down. She just want to go with somebody who got the spa appointments. So she's really looking forward to that. However, Shelby, she has a reason for doing that. She needs some help in a certain area, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we see the bachelor party is starting up, and I was really surprised to see, I don't know, like they were in a room like with a pool hall, a bar, and all that, and there was a lot of guys in there. I don't know if the guys were there for Lance. They looked like they were, but as far as I knew, the couples were only there. It was like a private setting, but obviously they're having a wedding, so they have more people there. And what also surprised me is the fact that, like, unlike, let's say, the first bachelor party from when Lance's wedding was going, it was supposed to be like when the strippers came in, it was supposed to be sexy and sensual, but it was more awkward and funny when even it started out with Murch punching the strippers in the face accidentally or whatever, and even his wife Candace introducing, she had like a little Chippendales outfit on, and she's nervous and the pieces falling off of her, and she actually introduced the main event, which Candace was in the first Best Man, is actually Shelby. And like Quentin was shocked by that. And Shelby kind of came a little awkwardly because I guess she's just working on her stripper tutorial that Candace gave her. But in a few seconds, Shelby captured the attention of the whole room, and she was like doing it and giving that energy to Quentin. He was just loving it. He was captivated, and it was like she turned the tables on him the way Quentin did at Lance's wedding with the guard or whatever. So she's seducing Q, and he's just like gone. He's all into her, and he's telling Harper like how bad of a best man that he is, and that really Murch is the man by bringing Shelby there, and it's just like that was the best thing he ever seen, and it was funny. And it was a moment, but he was really captivated by Shelby. And Shelby thought he was so turned on, she actually invited him after the bachelor party was over to meet her privately. But when it was time to meet up, Q didn't come. Harper actually came and told Shelby, like, pretty much it's your time to go. Q don't really want you here. We've got you accommodations, so, you need to be on a plane tomorrow because this is it. And then right behind Harper, here's Sia Moore, like, hey, I won the war. You might have had him once, but I got him all the time. And you need to go. You like looking desperate, Shelby, and nobody's fighting. You're the only one fighting for this. That's her man, and you need to just let go. And Shelby seemed defeated, and she's moving on. She's going to take her ticket and head back home. So I guess Shelby lost in the end or whatever. So the next day we see Harper. He's letting Q know that he doesn't have any concerns anymore to worrying about Shelby popping up or trying to disrupt anything or whatever, because he actually did his request by placing the ticket in Shelby's hand, and she's supposed to be gone already. And even Jordan assured Q that like she's gone, so you have no worries about that. But Harper was looking at Q and could tell like something was off. Like you kind of want her to be here or whatever. And Harper just suggested, well, you want to go to the airport and make sure she's gone. He's like, yeah, let's go. And they ran to the airport, and Q's father was like, what are you doing? You messing up your life. And he like, well, this is what I do. And he gone. So, impulsively, Q meets Shelby at the airport, and they get into an argument because he's just saying like she's always around, always bothering him. And you can really see how toxic their relationship is. And Q just kind of breaks down and stops fighting with himself and confesses to Shelby, like, you're the one I want. I love you. One of those you complete me moments, and begs for Shelby to stay. And guess what? That's what Shelby needed to hear, that he loves her. And he wants her to stay. And just like that, Sia Moore is moved out the way. Shelby and Q get married. Just like that. I'm like, just like that? Like, we don't see what happens to Sia Moore. You gave Sia Moore Shelby's ticket. I don't know what's going on. But that wasn't the end of it, because then the next scene it shows Sia Moore walking towards the beach, and behind her is a burning villa. So I'm like, okay, that's a proper reaction. You embarrassed that lady. I'm sure she had guests, and you brought her all the way to Jamaica to leave her at the altar. That's really messed up. So the episode kind of wraps up with Harper, after Shelby and Q got married, getting a blessing from everyone to go ahead and adapt the book into a movie. And the only person who has an exception about it is Lance. He just wants to know, he wants to approve who's going to play Mia in the movie. So, that's a fair request. And so Q and Shelby have like a private moment or what have you. And Shelby lets Q know that, like, hey, you're pretty much the father of my daughter. You're not Uncle Q, you're Daddy Q, and you're not stepdad. You are the father, like a Maury moment. And I'm like, hold up. Like in my Martin voice, hold up. You mean to tell me Shelby had this man around his daughter as her uncle for 10 years and didn't allow him the chance to be a father? I'm like, Q, you need to get a Jamaican divorce ASAP, because this is ridiculous. But yeah, he loves Shelby. He's looking forward to being a father. And right then they get a FaceTime from their daughter, and he's going to tell her over the phone. I'm like, no, telling over the phone, that's a lot to absorb. You can't even walk her through it. What if she hang up the phone? What if it hurts her so bad she can't sleep at night? You need to tell her that kind of information in person. And I thought that was quite ridiculous. And the series didn't focus on that enough, because that is a huge deal. I mean, that's enormous, because even if they weren't going to be together, he should have the right to be a father to her. So, well, that was pretty much in the episode. They showed, like, I guess, what's happening in the near future, where Jordan is being promoted as a producer and running things even more in her career. Harper's going forward with the adaptation of the movie. And that was it for episode 2. So again, drop down in the comments. Definitely let me know what you think. Something I missed, something you want to add. And, let's talk about what's going on with this series, because it's a wonderful series. I haven't seen a bad episode yet. So again, as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it. Episode 3 coming tomorrow.